Hello, First Wellness family. I wanted to bring you another video, and today the topic is good pain. I know it kind of sounds kind of weird to hear that, but I think one of the biggest mistakes we make in our body and taking care of our body and being healthy is to assume all pain is bad. Nobody wants to be in pain, but at the same time, I know our culture is very, very prone to, seeking pleasure, avoiding pain, right? Those are how we base our decisions. But to assume all pain is bad, that can get us into a lot of trouble, a lot of problems. There is good pain. Doesn't mean it's fun, but there is good pain, but there's also bad pain. And how do we differentiate between the two? One of the biggest questions I get as far as our chiropractic and realignment is what stretches to do. And one of the main things I always like to say is there's no such thing as a bad stretch. And to be honest with you, the best stretch for you is the one that's the most uncomfortable or the one that hurts the most. And the reason being is a lot, by and large, because of scar tissue. Okay, and if you live long enough, you're going to have scar tissue. The more injuries you have, the more scar tissue you're going to have. The more repetitive stress you have, the more scar tissue you're going to have. Inflammation leads to scar tissue. Scar tissue is that gristle in the steak, that is that tough gristle, and there has to be a lot of nerves in that to have that proprioception in there. So what happens is when the weather changes, you feel that scar tissue kind of flare up. That's when all these cold fronts come in, you feel that flare up in the scar tissue. At the same time, if you're moving and stretching and it hurts, that's probably scar tissue, okay? Especially if there's no recent method of injury, okay? That's very important as well. But it's the old adage of, and you've heard this before too, if it hurts to raise your arm, well, don't raise your arm. Well, problem there is that if it is scar tissue causing that pain when I raise my arm, that scar tissue over time is going to shrink and adhese. It gets tighter and tighter and tighter. So if it hurts me to do this and I don't do that, I do less of it, I just do it to here, well, eventually it's going to hurt to do that. And eventually it hurts to do that. Well, eventually my range of motion gets less and less and less. And if you paid attention to the other videos, you'll remember that the less range of motion we have, the less healthy the joint is. And so as you start to limit that range of motion in the joint, the more degenerative that joint becomes. That's when the arthritis sets in, okay? So if it hurts to do that when you're stretching, that's the one you need to do the most, okay? Just a good stretch in there. Got a lot of shoulder injuries just from different things over the years. Really hurts to stretch, especially my left shoulder, but sometimes you'll catch me in the hallways just stretching my shoulders out because they get so uncomfortable and so tight, especially when I sleep. I gotta stretch them back out. Now that's the counter to the bad pain. Bad pain, especially with acute injury, you have a tear in a tendon, ligament, muscle, any type of that. It's going to be immediate pain, very acute pain, versus the chronic pain that's kind of there all the time, especially in certain movements. So we need to get really good at differentiating good pain versus bad pain. But the last thing you want to do, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and assume all pain is bad, okay? Because there's sometimes that pain can be good to kind of tells us what we need to do and what needs to get done. So hopefully this makes a little bit more sense. If you have any specific questions, ask in the comments below. Other than that, specific questions for your individual problems, you can always call us up at the office. Numbers in the links below. So hope you enjoy the video. Hope this makes a little bit more sense. But just whatever you do, don't assume all pain is bad. Thanks for watching.